2017, this Wednesday, the 13th of December 2017, just one day after Kenya marked the 54th Jamhuri Day. Celebrations which were, well, rather poorly attended across the country, and the headline celebrations were being held at the Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani, and which is also the Kasarani, the Farcical Stadium, if you like. So this day, we are just going to break down what happened in Kasarani, what did not happen in Kasarani, what ought to have happened in Kasarani. We're also going to have a look at an ugly occurrence that is had started to secede, but right now we are beginning to see the ugly head of road carnage once again. As I'm speaking to you, we are reports coming in indicating that there's another ugly accident along Thika Road. We'll give you the details as we receive them. Just yesterday, in the last 72 hours, over 70 people have died courtesy of road accidents. That's just about one person per hour almost. Also, the Deputy President's wife, Rachel Ruto, did conduct some prayers in the company of other Christians along the Nairobi, Kisumu, Nairobi Eldoret Highway along Salga. This was just a few days before we did witness a very, very grisly accident along there. And I take this earliest opportunity just to condole with the families, pass our heartfelt condolences to the families of those who lost their loved ones in those accidents. May God rest their souls in eternal peace. And of course, we're also going to look at an issue that has caused a storm, the HSC commendations. There are some names there, and the headline name actually is Gideriman. We're going to have a look at that list and just see, what do you think about that list? What was the criteria that was used? Was it fair, or was it reward for political work done? Is it simply political patronage, or should it be reward for service to country? I am joined by none other than researcher and political analyst Vickery Omwango. How are you, sir?
Fine, thank you.
It's been a minute.
It's been long.
Yeah, karibu sana. Siku nyingi.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, before we even start, let me just go through some comments that are actually coming in. Wow. Wilson, you're saying our only agenda is swearing in Baba. The rest we can discuss later. Okay, very well. I hear you. Talk about secession. Hizo discussions zingine, not for now. Dorothy K, you're saying the only thing we want to hear from NASA is way forward regarding Baba and Kalonzo's swearing in. Thank you for your comment. Dennis Dean, this Jubilee government is full of, okay, I'll leave dots there. A man eats raw githeri and gets state commendation, while thousands of Kenyan soldiers risk their lives to protect this country, yet they get nothing. Wow. Very well. I mean, let's just start with the first one, Kasarani. Let's just have a look at footage from Kasarani and then footage from Mandera, and then we just break this whole thing about 12 December down. Are people tired of the idea of celebrations? Is it about illegitimacy of the government that is leading the celebrations? Or people simply tired of the idea of Kenya? People just really don't care anymore. Let's just have a look at that clip from Kasarani and Mandera. Well, that was a Kasarani. Vickery, largely, I mean, largely empty. I mean, what could not have happened? What was not happening, or what was happening? Just a week back, there was a stampede. People were tear gas. Supposedly, there were more than Kasarani could accommodate.
The events of Kasarani reminds me of a book I once read, and many of my peers might have read the same book, Kifo Kisimani.
Kifo Kisimani.
Yeah, there's this one in Tengimufono. There's a day he called for a meeting, but seemingly nobody turned, including the wife. So he sent out the advisors to look for people. They were saying, Bado wako Mingamwili. They went there, nobody was there to be found. So definitely, the event of yesterday points onto one thing. We don't have a country. Right. And the reason we don't have a country is because some people are trying to force themselves onto us. They want to be leaders when they ought not to be, because they have nothing to show for it, given their 5 years of definitely embedded impunity and serious looting. Right. So the events there should just tell Uhuru Kenyatta that he is not the president of Kenya. He's a president of OT Moko, those who made him the president through the computer. Or maybe he is a president of few ethnically galvanized individuals who think that one of their own being the president takes them to where they ought to be. So Uhuru Kenyatta, if I were him, I would resign and go home, because a president who got around 900,000 votes could not even get the needed 60,000 people to fill the stadium in Nairobi. And if you look at all over the country, people don't feel the sense of being Kenyan. So it's like you don't have a country.
Just hold that thought. Let's have a look at how things were in Mandera. Then we come back to that.
Ambaye kutoka Kenya mzima Kiambalebali, karibuni. Ya pili, mimi nashangaa wananchi iko wapi? Hatuoni wananchi, tunaeleza nani barasa kama wananchi hapana iko. Kwa hivyo wananchi ya Mandera waheshimiwa viongozi wakuja hapa mbele kusikiliza maneno yao. Kwa hivyo sio heshima hiyo, kama wakubwa wanaanza mkutano kama anatoroka mahali kando sio mzuri. Ya pili, nafikiri kama nyinyi watu wa Mandera wanajua maana ya uhuru maana yake ama Madaraka Day maana yake. Tulianzika kitu ambacho iko serikali na sasa tunaona vile nyinyi nakaa. Ambaye kutoka Kenya mzima Kiambalebali, karibuni. Ya pili, mimi nashangaa wananchi iko wapi?
Before we wrap up on this issue, somebody is saying, Masaf Ken, you're saying, Uhuru police beat and tear gas his own people during swearing in. So that's so demeaning of him. How do you expect them to turn up? Now, does it mean that people have given up on this? This is a very fundamental celebration. This is actually when the Kenya as a free republic was set up. Have people given up on people's idea of Kenya?
Definitely. We no longer feel the sense of being a Kenyan, because hatujivunii kuwa wa Kenya, tunavumilia kuwa wa Kenya. Because when people are shot, people go to receive their leader from the airport are shot dead.
Right.
You know, when we have a government that is premised on looting, we have a government that is premised on corruption, and it is the corrupt who are rewarded. Definitely, people are tired of being Kenyan, because at the end of the day, there's nothing to smile about. There's nothing you can point out that I'm proud of being a Kenyan because of one. We are only known for the negative. So, Uhuru Kenyatta, because if you are a president, you have the majority votes. Then, it doesn't take much to get 60,000 going to Kasarani. This is a president, as I've said, who got 900,000 votes in Nairobi County. So really getting 60,000 to go to Kasarani is not a problem. So this only means that Uhuru Kenyatta is a president of the minority. Maybe in Nairobi less than 200,000 people voted for him, but according to the computers, it got 900,000 votes. And then, one thing that is synonymous with Jubilee government, it is a government that is known for paying people to stop thinking. So this time, maybe they thought, now that we've been paying our people to stop thinking for a while, now that it is Jamhuri Day, they will just come. Money didn't change hands, and therefore nobody was mobilized. They were never paid, so they never...
Are you saying all these meetings people are paid? And if so, how much of public money then has gone into just gathering people in one place and looking like...
Baggy, you don't need rocket science. Jubilee just in 5 years cannot account for 3.5 trillion. Just in 5 years. So each and every rally, the money changing hands, people were being given 200,000, go mobilize people. I have a friend who works with Jubilee. This time I was asking him, what is happening in Kasarani? I was telling him, oh, you know, we were not given money, so even me, I can't go to Kasarani. So their supporters have been socialized in such a way that if they are not paid, they don't turn up. So now that they were not paid, you don't expect anybody. And that is what Jubilee is based on. We have money, we've looted enough, we can use this money to buy crowd.
Wow, very unfortunate. But I mean, it's really, we need to think deeply about this, because the situation played out in Machakos. Sure. There are about 20 people. In Kisumu, there are about, I think the person read the president's speech was reading it to themselves. And if it cuts across the country, then it points to a very, very deep problem. Now, let's put that aside. Road carnage, NTSA. I mean, it's almost getting out of control when NTSA appears to have budget. They have cars, I see them everywhere. But we have alcohol now, but the accidents are just not going away. There was an attempt for spiritual intervention by Rachel Ruto. Let's just have that clip, please, and then we get into that.
The vine also signifying the blood of Christ. Yes. In the name of the Father, yes, and of the Son, yes, and of the Holy Spirit, yes, we uproot, we destroy, we bring out, we stop any accident and any confusion, any bad decision. In the name of the Father.
Vicary, do we need spiritual intervention? I mean, what ought to happen? What's going on? 2 people dead in 72 hours.
Well, people go to church, but there's one thing. You can be next to church but far away from God.
I didn't get that. You can be next to?
Many Kenyans are next to church but very far away from God. So I'm not surprised when some people self-proclaim Christians going along the road and buying some olive oil from the supermarket and claiming that they are cleansing the road. That must have been a joke of the year. The road carnages in Kenya begins with wrong designs of the roads. You know, we are a country that brags of having a good education system, but we have the worst road designs on our roads. If you go to Thika Superhighway, you will find cases whereby 8 lanes having 1 exit. But going to Salga and many other black spots in this country, it points to wrong design. The way the road is designed, you can't really go beyond 50 kilometers per hour. But remember, Kenya is a country that is guided by embedded impunity. People do things their own way, how they wish. If they are told to go...
Okay, fine, but let me just cut you short. Even so, let's assume this truck, as it is being said, was ferrying wood, perhaps from Congo, and maybe did not have papers. Between the border and Salga, you're talking of almost 300 kilometers or 250 kilometers. You want to tell me there was no roadblock, there was no police check, there was no... For all those kilometers until it hit Salga?
Baggy, unless you just drove from the moon some few hours ago, what our police do on the road is to collect money. They collect a lot of millions every day. So we need to find out who the owner of the timber was, because that might be some powerful person in Kenya. So even if that lorry they had a problem of brake and what have you, in Kenya, as long as you have some power or you associate yourself with those who are in power, you can do anything.
But, I mean, it's also being said that one of the NTSA vehicles was actually chasing down that truck driver. It's okay, NTSA have denied, obviously, and saying that their vehicle was parked about 500 meters from that scene. Is NTSA overrated? I mean, they have a good budget right now. I see their vehicles all over, their officers all over. Are they really doing what they are supposed to do?
There's a saying in my community that the fish rots from the head. As long as we have two individuals at the helm of this country's leadership who are definitely very corrupt, they loot with impunity, you don't expect any other body, be it NTSA, be it the judiciary, be it any other body in this country that is corruption-free. So what those guys are doing on the road is to collect bribes. There's nothing they're doing on the road. In fact, if I were the president, I would do away with that body, because there's nothing really they're doing on the road.
Very well. I hear you, Vicari.
Maybe to add on these so-called prayers, it is time as a country we ran away from PR prayers to genuine prayers.
PR prayers to how do you determine whether this prayer is PR or it's genuine?
What Rachel Ruto was doing was PR. You are the wife to the deputy president. This road was poorly designed. Then you go to the supermarket, you buy some oil, you go pour on the road. How does it help? You know, what Rachel Ruto was doing is more or less like praying for the economy. The husband and the other one has looted 3.5 trillion. So you are praying so that God can help the economy grow. Where's the logic in that? You know, let us get to the root of the problem. First, it is the poor road design. Two, impunity on the roads. Our drivers, they're very careless, they're very reckless. So when the two, we start with the proper design, that road they should do some.
Well, I hear you, Vicari, because I'm also pressed for time. But, I mean, we cannot give a blanket dismissal to prayer. I mean,
the Bible says that the only time God listens to our prayers, the prayers of a wicked man, is when they repent. So what Rachel Ruto was doing there was not repentance. So I doubt if God.
Vicari, I think we'll have to leave it there. That is the gospel according to Vicari. I cannot be in a position to judge who is wicked, who is not in the eyes of God.
The Bible says, judge them by their fruits. You are the wife of the deputy president,
Vicari, okay,
who has been grabbing land all over the place, who has been tear gassing our
I cannot be in a position.
Then you go praying.
I cannot be in a position to ascertain whether the grabbing or the tear gassing was
or the killing.
Or the killing.
There were several Kenyans who were killed.
And
she's the wife to the deputy president.
But does that take away your right to pray?
She has all it takes to tell the husband, you know, my husband, you don't need to kill 26 laws because they are going to the airport.
That does not deny her a right with a relationship with God. Let's get to the last bit of our discussion. The HSC, Head of State Commendations. These are commendations that are given to persons who've done exemplary well in serving their country, brought fame to their country, or glory. Top on the list, Gideriman. Please let me have that image. Adele Lohadeli, you're saying, I've just seen an NTSA vehicle on NTV overlapping among many other vehicles. It's a pity. Wow, that's really regrettable. Martin Kimodo, Giveriman, do you deserve it?
unless I don't know the definition of being a hero, it is only in Kenya where an emaciated, starving Kikuyu man
No, did you have to go to his
who cannot afford ugali and sukuma wiki for lunch
you didn't have to go to his ethnic background, but it's okay. Yes, I'm hearing.
is made a hero. If for anything, that was a PR strategy by Jubilee, so that Kenyans will think, oh, there was this man called Githeri man, when behind the scenes they were stealing the election. So, to me, that was a
Very well. Let's go to the other persons of in that list. Kipchumba Murkomen. He's now EGH, Elder of the Golden Heart. Kipchumba Murkomen.
Kipchumba Murkomen is an example of shortcuts in life, because you are born and it's like you are the best term to describe Kipchumba Murkomen is a privileged fool.
No, come on.
Let me explain.
No, you didn't say that.
Let me explain. A privileged fool is someone who is born and they like, okay, you have some basic education. Then by grace of God or Satan,
No, it cannot be. It cannot be Satan. It has to be grace of God.
Okay, you just land some billions in your account, so you feel so important. Then it happens that you have some of your friends who are in government. So that list, if you look at the
No, so did he deserve it or not?
Okay, what has Kipchumba Murkomen done to this country? That's
Well,
the
I
question.
wouldn't know. He's a senator.
No,
He represents the people of Elgeyo Marakwet.
If there's anything, one damn thing that Kipchumba Murkomen has done to this nation, then everybody ought to know. As far as I'm concerned, and I've read in books and wherever, there's nothing Kipchumba Murkomen has done to this country. If for anything, he's not even the best lawyer in Kenya. He's not.
Okay.
He's not even the best brain.
Okay. Ken Lusaka, the former Bungoma governor. Okay, many people know him by the wheelbarrow term. He's now the Senate Speaker.
He was, because he bought some wheelbarrow at 110,000.
Right.
Yeah, that's why.
Vicari.
He found some money which he used to bribe some voters who voted for Uhuru Kenyatta. So they said, okay, now that you siphoned the county government funds and paid some few people to stop thinking and follow Uhuru Kenyatta blindly, let's give you this. So that is definitely what happened.
Philip Nyasio Samo, you're saying watching from Sachangwan near Salga. Well, poleni sana watu wa Salga. Our prayers are with you. Road engineering in Salga area is a solution. Going around the bush will not help. We love our God, but God gave us brains to use. Let's use the expertise in these fields. That's by Muga Fanuel. We also had Dennis Itumbi in that list of head of state commendation.
Itumbi is ailing insults at Raila Odinga makes you a hero in Kenya. So now that Dennis Itumbi was all over the place, abusing Raila Odinga, telling us all manner of things about the enigma, definitely. And I guess he was the chairman. He was the man who came up with that list, because that list is composed of majorly academic dwarfs who by luck got some money easily. They are the fraction that got part of the 3.5 trillion that Uhuru Kenyatta and Ruto cannot account for. So Dennis Itumbi might have been the chairman, now that the wife was also in the list.
Was the wife in the list?
Who doesn't know?
No, Vicari, come on. I mean, stop speaking in parables. I'm not very good at deciphering information that is not given as is. So kindly, I mean...
Okay, I'm told Jackie Maribe is the wife or girlfriend.
Really?
Either of the two, yeah.
No, Vicari, okay. We cannot be seen or allowed to be peddling rumors.
We are not peddling rumors.
So to speak. I don't know the source of your information.
When the plane crashed in Nakuru, you heard what Jackie Maribe said.
Well, I didn't hear.
That she's been using that plane for the entire period. She was
journalists fly all the time.
She was part of Jubilee Secretariat, because you are a journalist. employed by Royal Media. What do you have to do with Uhuru Kenyatta and their plane?
Well, sometimes, I mean, some political parties have money. They can decide to be courteous and help fly journalists for better coverage.
You see, when NASA decide to fly around with the journalist, you know that journalist is already compromised. And if you've been following Jackie Maribe closely, she's been a strong supporter of Jubilee.
Well, everybody's entitled to a political opinion, isn't it? As long as it doesn't affect the execution of your job as a journalist.
She ought to have resigned like Julie Gishuru did, or Janet Mbugua, or Alex Chamwada, and join Jubilee. You don't need to be in Royal Media as their reporter. When you move around with the likes of Itumbi, Robert Alai...
Well, but Vicari, it's a thin line. There is still freedom of association. You cannot crucify somebody for the people they associate with.
There is freedom, yes. But you can't be with Itumbi Monday to Monday, 24 hours.
Would you rather he was with somebody else? Is Itumbi the problem?
Not okay. Now that they were with Itumbi every other day and moving around in Jubilee chopper, it points to one thing. She was compromised. She was favoring the Jubilee regime. And if you follow keenly the way she's been reporting for the last 1 year, she's supporting Jubilee.
Very well. I'm not sure about that.
Okay, if you can recognize Jackie Maribe, what about this journalist who rescued some beggar?
Well, he is a KBC journalist. He's one of those, and I think he's one of those people who deserve, perhaps. That's the day the bees descended.
Yes.
There. But away from Jackie Maribe, Robert Alai.
Robert Alai had some page called The Real Raila, where he was posting some regrettable messages about Raila.
Right.
When it is in public domain that it is Raila Odinga who picked Robert Alai from his rural home in Kano, when he was what I would describe as a rural folk.
No, but away from that, did he deserve to get an head of state commendation?
What we're saying, the first thing is, what have you done that at least known to some Kenyans that makes you be recommended?
Okay.
Tell me one thing that Robert Alai has done, apart from denouncing Raila, who picked him from the village, brought him to the city. Now he learned some tricks on how to live some good life. He was promised some money in Jubilee. So tell me one good thing that Robert Alai has done in this country.
Well, I wouldn't know. So perhaps if he did, he should be in public
Robert
domain.
Alai, Dennis Itumbi, Jackie Maribe, and the likes, they were rewarded on the basis of that they were hailing insults at Raila. Because you don't remember, if you are someone who can hail insult at Raila Odinga, in the face of Uhuru Kenyatta, in the face of William Ruto, you are a hero.
Very well. I'm pressed for time. Just one last name, Isaac Hassan, as you also give your last comments. He was also in that list.
Isaac Hassan planted 800,000 ghost voters in the register. And those voters were majorly in central Kenya. So for aiding fraud into the IEBC register, he found himself in the list. So if you look at each and every individual in that list,
right, there
is one thing that they did, not positive. There's one negative thing they did to aid the illegitimacy of Uhuru Kenyatta.
Very well. Thank you very much, Vicari Omwando. I'll just go through two comments. My ex-governor, Lusaka. Really, this is by Adele Luya Lady. Very well, thank you very much for joining us. You have something pressing?
Yes. I would want to speak to my fellow youths and Kenyans at large. As we speak, we don't have a country. It is one thing to talk about Raila, and it's another thing to be Raila Odinga. Let us be patient. I know that sooner or later, we shall have a way through.
Very well. Thank you very much, Vicari Omwando. Thank you very much for your very, very valid comments and contribution. We must always keep the conversation going. I mean, the moment we stop conversing, we keep things inside, and when they're kept inside, they are not very healthy for us. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. this job is not for the faint-hearted. It takes dedication, courage, and strength. We endure all kinds of challenges.
Hiyo ndio sababu mimi natoa shukrani kwenu kabisa kama wananasa.
To bring you the most credible news. We thank all our viewers for their commitment. NASA TV is a people-driven channel, meaning our content direction and style comes directly from our viewers. We would like to appeal for your help to NASA TV to boost and improve our standards. You can contribute directly to NASA TV by donating to Airtel Paybill number 555155. Support NASA TV. NASA TV. Mambo yabadilika.